Yo, what's happening guys, and welcome to a brand new H1Z1 video. I really just want to talk about, is this game dead, basically, in a nutshell. Is H1Z1 on the PS4 dead? Does it have a future? Is it possible that this game can make a comeback? And I want to talk about the rise and fall of H1Z1 on the PS4. When H1Z1 first came out, it was a huge success and a massive hit on PS4. It was the second Battle Royale after Fortnite on PS4. It had 14 million downloads, hundreds of thousands of players concurrent, tons of people making YouTube videos and streaming it. It was very, very popular at the very beginning, and it really is a shame how it turned out. Pretty much no big streamers or YouTubers play this game anymore. It has a very small presence on Twitch, which has been the case for quite some time. However, this game did have a very loyal fan base and loyal community. I feel like the Hype Squad, stuck to Fortnite, because that's what Hype Squads do, they stick where the hype is, and then this game did build its own very loyal community. However, over the last couple of months, and since all our BR games have come out, and really with the lack of updates, development, bug fixes, server issues, and many, many things, this game kind of has fallen into obscurity a little bit, and it's kind of rivaling H1Z1 on the PC, where it's only really got, more or less a hardcore community that plays it. Whenever I do play H1Z1 on the PS4, I do see that there is still new players coming to this game all the time, which is definitely a good thing. However, I just don't think that Daybreak does enough to keep those players interested, and generally the entire development of the game has been very hindered and very stuttered, and it hasn't really went as well as it possibly could. I want to talk about a few things about why I think that's happened. Generally a little bit of history with Daybreak games and how they've done stuff like this before. A few other factors which may have been taken into consideration, and basically whether this game's got a future or not. If you guys missed my last video, I was talking about third-person aiming coming. So if you guys have been looking third-person aiming to come to this game for a while, it is definitely coming in Season 4. And there may be an arcade game mode prior to Season 4 with the third-person aiming included. Personally, I was always one of the ones who said that I wasn't really up for it, and I felt like first-person aiming took a lot more skill. However, it has to be said, there's a lot more bugs with first-person aiming, such as aiming through windows, aiming above cars, aiming on the side of objects like trees, for example, will make your aim all messed up, and you basically get some weird aim assist and shit like that. So it kind of is a little bit broken, so I'm actually very happy that they're bringing third-person aiming to H1. If you guys want full details about that, go and check out that last video after this one. I'll leave a link at the top and a link at the end of the video. But let's dig into the dirty details here about what actually happened. So whenever this game actually first came out, literally a month before this game was announced, or maybe 3 weeks before this game was announced, there was a news article that came out, and it was all over the news. A lot of people knew about it. Columbus Nova, who was supposedly the main investor in Daybreak Games, had their assets frozen in USA, allegedly because they had some kind of interference with the elections. Some really sketchy shit. They were a Russian firm. Apparently they had some kind of interference, and it was pretty fucked up. So that was a thing, and the H1Z1 PC community all thought that, well, that's game over, their developers aren't going to be able to make updates because they have no money anymore, and yeah, it did look a little bit sketchy. Even in John Smedley's own posts in the past, he claimed that Columbus Nova was a part of Daybreak, or did own Daybreak, but then he went on to deny it after these allegations came out. So that was a very interesting start to the life of H1Z1 on the PS4. Literally weeks before, it looked like the assets of the company had been frozen, which leads me on to my next point. Whenever the game first came out, it was painfully obvious that the game was not completed. The game was blue screen of deathing every 5 minutes. It wasn't that bad, but literally, actually, at one point, it was that bad. You were blue screening every single game pretty much at one point. Tons of bugs were in the game. It was a very interesting design choice. H1Z1 was a port, essentially, from the combat update on H1Z1 on the PC. If you guys don't know the combat update, I probably recommend, if you guys are interested, go and check out Cam's video. He's an H1Z1 PC YouTuber. He's talked about it a bunch of times, really, and I used to before I deleted all my H1Z1 PC videos. That's a different story for a different day, I suppose. But the combat update was widely regarded as the thing that killed H1Z1 on PC, and that's pretty much the version of the game that came to H1Z1 on the PS4, with all of the bugs included. So it was definitely a little bit frustrating from my side of things to see that they would take the most unsuccessful version of H1 and transfer it over to the PS4. With that being said though, I thought the game actually had a really good concept. After the initial kind of shock that they didn't use the good animations in the game, they didn't use the good recoil and everything that the game used to have, and the good colors. As you guys probably remember, when the game first came out, it looked like Halloween or some shit. The game was very dark. I kind of liked it. I fucked with it, honestly. It has to be said that the game didn't really look that good compared to other games. So honestly, there was some very interesting design choices. The concept of the game I was very happy with, honestly. You spawn in, you can find a shotgun, MP7, crossbow at the time, which wasn't widely considered as OP, or it wasn't as widely used as it is now at the very least. It was always OP, to be fair. And then to progress through the match, you had to go and get airdrops. You green airdrops, blue airdrops, and gold airdrops. And whenever the game actually was in beta, it was really, really fun. There was voice chat, proximity voice chat in the closed beta. They actually turned that off because I guess kids were getting toxic or whatever and talking shit, which is a damn shame, honestly. I think proximity voice chat is one of the things that really made H1Z1 PC a special experience. Whenever that had a lot of players, and not everybody was toxic and super tryhard, you know, people talking to you and, you know, having funny interactions. Kind of like how GTA roleplay is kind of blowing up right now. It's all because of voice chat. That's the only reason that game's obviously blowing up. It's all about the interaction. No game can put in place something more advanced and something with the potential of voice chat. That is so simple, but, you know, it's for me, that's what kind of made old Call of Duty games really fun and exciting too. You know, just talking shit. In Search and Destroy, you had to leave your party and go into voice chat. That for me was a huge thing, and I was very disappointed they took it away. At the same time, I did understand. But with all of that being said, Daybreak did seem to rush the game out the door. Their assets were frozen. They were obviously developing H1Z1 on the PS4 for the months beforehand. And it probably got to the point where they had to stand still and say, okay, we've got to put this game out here and make some money, pretty much. And that's exactly what they done. Whenever the game was released, there was some very, very sketchy marketing which went on with the pre-orders. Something very, very dumb in my opinion was that if you pre-ordered the game, which I think you could buy one of the pre-order bundles for like $60 or $50, which only really included like a bunch of crates and like a couple of outfits or some shit like that. If you actually spent that $50 or $60, you weren't guaranteed beta access. Like, that blew my mind. I was lucky enough to get beta access because, you know, I know some people and I was able to reach out to some people and get it. I was very lucky in that regard. But for the people who actually paid for the game off the get-go, they did not get early access, which was so stupid. So really, like, they were just really fucking blundering from the get-go, it has to be said. But anyway, let's give credit where credit's due. As time went on, they were doing weekly updates when the game was released. They gave us a roadmap. They showed us what was coming. You know, they were very open and honest at the very beginning, I have to be honest. Like, Daybreak were actually doing really well with the game in the beginning. They brought out the new color schemes, the different weather schemes. They brought out, you know, a couple of new weapons and a new vehicle in Season 1, I believe, right? Season 1. Season 1 was whenever they brought out the ARV, the RPG, and the SOCOM rifle. You know, so like they actually were getting the shit together. One of the huge problems that they had, and something that was heavily requested by, obviously, myself, who was making YouTube videos and doing very well and being very successful at the time. Some of the other biggest content creators here on YouTube, I would like to say Big Timer and Optic Hitch, for example. Those guys were saying, where's the leaderboards? Like, we need something to grind for. It's the same with any kind of competitive shooter game or battle royale. You need some kind of an end goal or something that separates you and like some kind of potential for tournaments and stuff like that. Stats didn't come into the game until Season 3, which obviously at that point the game was already heavily declined, to say the least. So that was something that they really fucked up with in the very beginning. Also, the ranking system that they brought into the game was not the traditional H1Z1 ranking system, which was in a season, get 10 wins. At the end of the season, you'll get a reward based on how many kills per win you get. This ranking system that they've put in the game now, it's like whoever plays the longest wins or gets the top spot. Obviously, if you camp and win, like that's how you get to the top. It's not about going for high kills like it is on PC, which honestly, in my opinion, was the best ranking system out of any battle royale that's out there. H1Z1's ranking system, Road to Royalty from Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Master, Royalty. That shit was brilliant, bro. Like, I don't know why they didn't just do that. But in any case, moving on here a little bit, after they were doing some good updates, shit started to get a bit stale, dude. After they released their Season 1 update, it took them another, I think the first battle pass lasted like 90 days. And then after the 90 days were finished, they had like a mid-season interval, we're going to call it mid-season interval. I don't know what I should call it, but that'll do. They had a mid-season interval with the Halloween skins. I'm sure you guys might remember that. They done the Halloween battle pass, which was pretty cool, like, but The arcade mode was complete garbage. I think you guys will probably agree. There was like a lot of balancing issues in the game as well. You know, the crossbow was very OP for a long time until they nerfed it. There was like 20 cars at the end of the match until they nerfed it. People were camping in the gas because it was too weak. And then obviously the old classic combat shotgun spray. The combat shotgun used to be green, I believe, right? The combat shotgun was a green weapon. I don't know how that stayed green for so long. Like, that really pushed a lot of people away, dude. Like, the crossbow on the ground and the combat shotgun green. That was honestly so fucking toxic. I can't believe it actually sort of went to this point. So pretty much like the development cycle that Daybreak started to go through was at the end of every battle pass, they're going to take a couple of weeks break and then fucking release the update or whatever. That's basically 3 updates per year, or every, like, let's say 105, 110 days. That's whenever they're going to release their updates. It has to be said that, you know, the Season 1 update, you know, to be fair, they brought out the SOCOM rifle, and also to be fair, they brought out the RPG and the ARV. You know, all in all, it wasn't a bad update, like, to be completely fair to them, but the SOCOM rifle and the RPG is complete shite, and nobody actually uses them, even to this day. Like, SOCOM, maybe some people use it, they buffed it so slightly. Also, for the longest time in the game, the M40s had really low sensitivity, and after the beta, they nerfed the one-shot headshot. It took them quite a long time to actually put that back in the game as well. So, like, to be fair, like, Daybreak was kind of just blundering around with their updates. It took an awful long time. After Season 1 was almost finished, people were like, what, you know, like, what are we doing here? Blackout's going to be coming out. That was the first kind of rival to H1, obviously, apart from Fortnite. A lot of people liked H1Z1 because it was like a more realistic quote-unquote game. They released the Desert Eagle, and it was around this time that the developers actually started working for Nant. So after that, sometime after the Desert Eagle was released, that's whenever shit really hit the pan. Those guys, like, there was just nobody working on the game as far as I'm concerned. You know, the same bugs were in the game from the beta, same performance issues. They didn't have servers in Australia, they didn't have servers in Asia. There was no content updates like there were before. For example, like the EMP grenade, the airstrike grenade. There was really good content updates before, but it was just like we're getting these shitty content updates every 110 days or something. And, you know, obviously whenever Blackout came out, I feel like that was definitely like one of the big nails in the coffin for H1, because people moved over to Blackout. It was running well above 60 FPS. The game is fully optimized and good to go on launch. And obviously a lot of people moved over. Then other games like PUBG came out, Red Dead Redemption, and just so you guys know how things go, whenever a game doesn't get updated and gets boring, people just move on, whether it be to another Battle Royale, whether it be to something else. It just kind of dwindled and dwindled. Now I would like to say that, in all fairness, H1Z1 on the PS4 I still think has a decent amount of players, so we're going to get a little bit positive here towards the end of the video. I've rambled on for a while here. Nant has folded, the PC team are no longer like separated from Daybreak. Basically, a bunch of the devs get laid off and they're not going to be working for Daybreak. But I feel like there is a possibility that some of the devs who left Daybreak to go and work on the PC team with a separate company completely, I feel like there might be a chance that Terrence Yee, Mike Madden, and some of those guys might be brought back to H1Z1 on the PS4. Now, in Season 4, which is due to come out in about a month or so, depending on, you know, whether they actually do a break in between, which they probably will, so probably like a month and a half. They're bringing out third-person aiming. They better be bringing out some new fucking guns, dude. The last gun we had was the Desert Eagle, which again was completely shite. The SOCOM shite, the RPG shite. They're doing a big weapon balancing. In the next update, they're going to be doing the combat shotgun balance, the EMP crossbow balance, third-person aiming. Supposedly, there's going to be a brand new map as well. I think if Daybreak gets all of this right, you know, in my opinion, let's just do a really quick rundown here on all of the weapons. AR-15, faster recoil. AK-47, more accurate. MP7, more damage. The Rad Shotgun and the Combat Shotgun probably both need a nerfed, in all honesty. Or at least give like the Rad Shotgun a one-shot headshot or some shit like that to set it apart from the combat. Something needs done with those two guns, but I'm not going to get into it. The CNQ is like a fucking sniper, dude. Like, that shit has way too much range. So they probably could tone that shit down a little bit. KH-43 Marauder, as far as I'm concerned, they're fine. LMG probably needs to be a tiny bit more accurate, but as far as I'm concerned, it's fine. The RPG is a joke. Like, what does that gun even do? I can't really call it a gun. What does that weapon really do? It's completely pointless. You know, buff that shit. Desert Eagle, the recoil doesn't reset. It needs a faster recoil reset. That could do with a buff. SOCOM needs a faster recoil reset. Scout Rifle needs more damage. The crossbow obviously needs a huge nerf. The M40 needs more sensitivity. If they can do all that kind of stuff, and then possibly add 1 or 2 new weapons, and maybe a new vehicle like a Lamborghini, which is in the game files. They do have a Lamborghini. You guys might have seen one of my videos before talking about that. Literally, there is a Lamborghini in H1Z1 PC. If they were able to do that kind of stuff, dude, I could see H1Z1 making a comeback with a brand new map, hopefully less bugs. They could do with definitely fixing the movement and animations, which were fixed on PC. So if they're able to port the movement and animations over from PC, make it that you're not getting locked whenever you crouch, make it that you're not getting locked whenever you strafe a couple of times. If they were able to actually do one good, big, wholesome update and actually, like, properly care about this game again and stop fucking around, they could actually, like, still make a stamp on the Battle Royale scene because, to be honest with you guys, like, PUBG is fucking kidding themselves on PS4. They're taking the absolute piss. Expecting people to pay $30 for a 30 FPS game. I like it a lot, actually. I really do like PUBG, I'm not gonna lie. That's the main game I've been playing for a long time. But they are taking the piss. Let's be honest here. Blackout, it's kind of coming up to the end of its cycle, I feel like. Again, it's like a $50 game or some shit like that. Fortnite's a joke, let's be honest here, folks. People are fucking flying around in hamster balls in Fortnite, like, who can be bothered? Let's be honest here, folks. Like, Fortnite, people don't actually play that game because they like it anymore. They play it because it's got clout behind it. Firestorm is a complete mess. Literally, like, people blend into the environment. The game feels like shite. H1Z1, like, to me, it was always my favourite BR on PS4, and I think probably always will be. If they were to actually really fix this game and get some people back on side, I can really see them going places, but, you know, it's just, it really all depends on Daybreak. They've had a huge history of messing games up in the past, and I honestly don't know if they have it in them to actually successfully market and build a game up to be, like, a blockbuster game. I just don't know if they have it in them as a development team or as a company, because of how backwards they are in their developments. But, you know, that's basically what I wanted to say. I know I've ranted on here for probably near 20 minutes. The gameplay in the background, it's a 19 kill win. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the gameplay in the background as well. Man, look, listen guys, I'm not trying to dump on H1Z1. Like I said, it's my favourite Battle Royale of all time on PC and PS4. Obviously, in my opinion, they've ruined it twice, if not more times. They've ruined each version of the game multiple times. So I'm pretty pissed with Daybreak, honestly. And, you know, I hope they can turn it around. Let me know if you guys would come back to H1. A lot of you guys in the comments of my last video said you would come back and try third-person aiming, so let me know what you guys are thinking. But that is pretty much it, my dudes. Thank you for watching, I do appreciate it. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new here, and if you did enjoy today's video. And at the end of this video, I'll leave a link to the last couple of H1 videos if you want to go check them out as well. But until next time, babies, thank you for watching. This has been King Plays. Good luck and peace out.
It's okay to say that we expect. It's Hoodie Allen. What up, Marina? You know how we do. They telling me to take the safe route. This is the detour, Hoodie baby.